Good morning and happy Thursday, everyone. So, let's get to my low, my high, my act of kindness. Let's see, what would constitute as my low? You know what? I have to point out what my low is, and it's a sad truth of reality, man. Yesterday, for the first time this year, I had to turn on the heat in my car. I mean, listen, it's still beautiful out. It's still like, summer, but because it rained so much yesterday and the fact it felt so damp and, felt cold, not to mention, like, at least in my car, the windshield kept fogging up and stuff like that. So I had to turn on the windshield blowers. I think that's what they're called. The ones that clear your windshield for you. Yeah, I had to turn on the heat in my car. Not for very long. And honestly, last night I converted back to air conditioning because I think things should be back to normal. I mean, it's cloudy right now, but it's not as bad as yesterday. It's very clear that it rained. But my high and the topic of this video is I finally got myself pumpkin spice stuff. Yay! If you saw the short last night, I got myself some pumpkin spice. And you know what? I think it's about time I told you about my long and sordid history with pumpkin spice, because I should talk about that. I love pumpkin spice stuff. I mean, I know it can be kind of divisive. I know it's actually rather, definitely a topic of discussion, especially the fact that fall literally is right around the corner, especially with school starting. At least in my area of school, I know school started everywhere else. But my history with pumpkin spice is actually a lot longer than you might realize. Even when I thought about it, I'm like, wow, pumpkin spice has been in my life for many, many years. And I will explain why. Before that, though, my act of kindness was I did someone a favor yesterday, as well as I held the door for some people. I did those things. Yes, I did. Okay, so, I'm feeling a little less tired. Actually, you know what? It's because I finally caved in and got myself some coffee. That's why I'm less tired, I guess. Anyway, so, if you saw my short, then you know that yesterday I went to Dunkin' Donuts and got myself a pumpkin donut, a pumpkin muffin, their new iced pumpkin loaf, and a pumpkin sugar cookie iced coffee. All of it was extremely good. Loved it. Honestly, I was feeling down, so I needed to pick me up, and that was a huge pick me up in more ways than one. But as I was eating it yesterday, I thought about, because every time pumpkin spice comes back, it's always the topic of discussion for so many people. Either you really love it or you really hate it, or as I personally joked, my inner white girl is most pleased every time I have it. But believe it or not, my first instance of anything pumpkin related was, obviously from the very beginning when you're a little kid. Halloween's right around the corner, pumpkins are everywhere. But it wasn't until I was actually in preschool at Gardner Road. Yeah, I never told you this. Before I went to St. Mary Mother, I went to preschool at Gardner Road. My class actually made, and I tried for the first time, pumpkin pie. I never had it before at that point. It never occurred to me that people actually eat pumpkins at that time. It did. I thought pumpkins were just there for the sake of decoration, and they look nice. And pumpkins are cool, man. They're giant orange, pieces of fruit. Which actually, that's another thing. I'll never forget this. it was the year, literally the new millennium rolled around, and the Guinness Book of World Records came out with that yearly edition of their book. And that was the first time I learned that the world's largest fruit is pumpkin. Yeah, they grow. Oh, at that year it was. I mean, sure. I mean, that was like 25 years ago. I'm sure that record's probably changed, but the world's largest fruit was a pumpkin, which I didn't know pumpkins were fruit. I mean, the way it works, if memory serves, is fruits have the ability to scatter their seeds everywhere, so they're able to grow, from like little seedlings up to whatever plant they grow into, and the fruit, quote unquote, that they bear, that's what you eat. With vegetables, you pretty much put for the most part, at least the root end of any vegetable, and it'll grow into that vegetable. I know you do that for potatoes and stuff. Or carrots. Anyway, I actually didn't know pumpkins were fruits. So I thought that was really neat. I mean, seriously, if you think being a tomato being a fruit's gonna blow your mind as a kid, wait till you hear that pumpkins are a fruit too. And peppers, actually. Oh yeah, peppers are fruits too. So I remember trying pumpkin pie for the first time at Gardner Road because my class made it, and I remember liking it. I told my mom Mom, I tried pumpkin pie the first time. I liked it. She's like, I like pumpkin pie too. So, I mean, pumpkin pie really was always a thing that showed up at Thanksgiving and no other time. Even though technically, for all intents and purposes, thanks to mass production and we have farms growing all over the world, pumpkins are fairly accessible, provided that you get pumpkin out of a can, and if you look on the back of a can, on the ingredients list, it should only say pumpkin. That should be what you're looking for. So we live in a day and age where stuff like that's readily available, but we never really have around that often because pumpkin is a seasonal fruit. It is. It's mainly used for fall and maybe very early winter at best. But it's always cool to see around. It's what it is. It's like that relative that you really only see for only a little bit of the year. And whenever you see that relative, it's always really special, and it's always even when you're feeling down, it's always a pick me up to see, that's what pumpkin spice is. Pumpkin spice is okay. Obviously, the reason why it's called pumpkin spice is because these several spices all go very well with pumpkin. They're specifically warming spices, cinnamon, ginger, clove, nutmeg, allspice I believe is in there somewhere. Those all go well with pumpkin. That's why they pair. So that's why it's called pumpkin spice. In fact, it's grown so popular that a lot of spice companies just have a thing that says pumpkin spice on it as everything in it. That's how it works. I really started getting back into liking pumpkin. Here's the thing. I'd say it wasn't until 2014, I think I really started liking pumpkin spice again. Not that I had a dislike for it, but I didn't really find, there's years went by and I didn't really have it. Or didn't really, it wasn't on my to-do list to have, you see. And I remember I had just finished my first marathon in 2014, and pumpkin spice was back at Dunkin', and I tried it again, and it was great. It's again that relative or friend that you don't see for a long time, and when you see him again, it's as if no time has passed. It's a good familiar. That's what it is. And then 2015 rolled around. I tried qualifying for the Boston Marathon, and I didn't. And to punish myself, I didn't allow myself to have any pumpkin spice. Yeah, I'll give the white girls watching this the time to collect themselves. But after that, I'm like, I'm not doing that again. And I'd say in the last couple of years, especially, pumpkin spice is something I look forward to every year. I mean, yeah, I've made jokes about it, to be sure. I mean, I've literally made several jokes in this video so far. But they're the kind of jokes where if I didn't like it or if I didn't look forward to it, I wouldn't be making those jokes. It's like watching a movie that you really love, but it's flawed, and you can make fun of several points in that movie, but you still, it's like the Nostalgia Critics video of Hook. Yeah, the Robin Williams, Dustin Hoffman movie. Like, literally the Nostalgia Critic opened up that video with, can you make fun of a movie that you really like? Well, I'm going to. Hook. And that's how the video started. So, yeah, I mean, it's that sort of feeling you get when you know that even for like a little bit, you don't need to worry about things. Even like as big of a problems that you might, as big of a problem or problems that you might have, you can't let them consume you, excuse me. I mean, there's several ways to, cope. I mean, some people like to read, some people like to, cook, some people like to listen to music or watch Netflix or whatever tickles your fancy. But every now and again, you want something different, but also kind of familiar. And whenever pumpkin spice comes back, and whenever pumpkins are, being made in pies or soups, that's another thing. Like, they make pumpkin soups, which reminds me, Legends of Zelda Twilight Princess. And Chuck Conroy was talking about this during his Let's Play. For starters, Snow Point Temple is essentially someone's house, and the focal point of Snow Point Temple is making a soup. Specifically, it's a pumpkin and goat cheese soup made with reedfish heads. But here's the thing, they actually recreated that soup. Yeah, you can actually look it up. You can actually make the soup yourself. I mean, it doesn't have reedfish heads in it, obviously, but pumpkin and goat cheese, you can totally make it now. The recipe is online. In fact, I'll put a link to the description. In fact, I'll put a link to the to that soup recipe in the description down below. Because that soup looks really good, and honestly, I want to try it. Like, I showed that to my mom, and my mom likes making soup, and she's like, what, I might actually do that. So, fingers crossed she does make it, because that's something to really look forward to. So, here's the thing. I mentioned yesterday I was really tired and I caved in. That pumpkin sugar cookie iced coffee, that woke me up. I mean, to be honest, I guess I am still a little bit on the tired side, but definitely less so. And the fact I'm talking about something that I really like is helping tremendously as well. In terms of what's going on today, I don't know. I'll have to play that by ear. But whatever's happening, I do plan on, talking about it at some point. I would say that even though it's still summer, and even though for all intents and purposes it's still warm outside, at least if you're in my area, if you're watching this, I would say dress appropriately. I mean, it's cloudy right now, but you can still get sunburned through the clouds. Everyone knows that. If it gets cold out, you don't need to wear it, but I would recommend you bring some sort of long sleeve article of clothing, like a sweater, or maybe start wearing longer pants, or a jacket. I recommend you do that. That's what I'm gonna do. Also, you may want to invest in wearing something with a hood. Because I tell you what, like, I have a jacket that the zipper doesn't work, but everything else on it works fine. That hood has been like a real godsend for me. Like, it's actually kind of cool how effective it is. Oh my goodness. I'm tired. It's been a long week, but you know what? It's Thursday. It's coming to a close. I'm feeling particularly good right now. So, I think I'm going to get on with my day. Hope you like this video. If you like, subscribe to YouTube channel. Follow me on social media. As always, I'm doing home maze with you for all you guys watching Door Video. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Thursday. Did I say happy Thursday? Happy Thursday, everyone. And remember, if any of you guys want to talk or chat, I'm always going to be here to lend a hand. Always hit me back. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby.